or so, maybe. Not entirely sure. My channel is going to be a little slow in the next couple weeks or so because I have finals and all that lovely stuff going on. Lots of grading to do. I decided to start recording here because we have this guy. It's a new mob, and he has a special ability. He sure does. Are they not hostile? There we go. So yeah, that's fun. They give you these, which are really nice. I think you can make like one of the strongest swords with those. And they're really not that challenging, but you can tell they give you blindness, and they make the Enderman sound, and overall are just really terrifying looking things. Good, diamond. Diamond, diamond, diamond. That's what I needed. Thank you. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Can you get over here, guy? This is one of those really powerful things. I don't think he can make it over here. And we will make sure that he can't by doing that and that. Oh look, there you are. Okay. Enthralled, Ramacrix. You can't make it through there, right? Okay, good. Good, very nice. So I'm going to sit here and kill this guy. Maybe get some more of those corrupted shards, or whatever the heck they're called. And keep an eye out behind me. What I'm working on right now, actually, is digging out some of this space here at Y12 in order to make kind of just a spawning room for these guys, mainly because you really need to farm a lot of these guys in order to get some of the more powerful weapons. So, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be back with you guys here momentarily. Hey, I found a spawner. This will be very nice now that I have those diamonds. Never got those diamonds, did I? Dang it! I gotta go back and find those now. I can use this to grind levels and get some good enchants on my gear. Had a couple of some pretty intense moments with these Cyclops down here. It's that. Oh, I don't want to break it. No. It's that freaking range attack, man. I'm telling you, that thing is deadly. Deadly. Ooh, and a bunch more of you guys down here, huh? We'll just block that off. Surprisingly, the one thing that I haven't found much of is iron. Or maybe I'm just not looking for it. But I think to start off with, to get up to my base, I'm just going to build a rail, which may kind of defeat the whole floating islands look of it, but besides ender pearls, which I don't have a good supply of, and actually let me go ahead and do this, and like a piston elevator, which I don't think I have enough resources for yet. There's not really a good way to get up and down. Anything? Saddle. Saddle might be nice. Wheat. Anyways, I figured I would just check in with you and show you this. And I'm going to collect some more rail and start digging out a little spawning space for them down here, and then I will be right back with you. Alright, you guys, and I'm back here at my base. You can see that's where the zombie spawner is. It's really close. That's going to be very nice once I get that established. I haven't done anything more to my base. I haven't even cut down the trees, in fact. Just haven't had much time to play. I don't know why I'm jumping all the way down here, because I'm just going to want to go back up. I'm clearly going to want another way down. That's just so much fun, though, you know? Such a rush. There's something moving fast back there. So I have an enchanting table and I have 6 bookshelves, but I'm going to need more leather. I think there may be more books back at the village, to be honest. So I may head back there. I also managed to get like 9 emerald or something like that, so who knows, I may be able to purchase something with those emerald. But for now, what I wanted to do was to head back this way towards where we saw that swamp. Hello, Mr. Chicken, and again, I actually have plenty of food now. Well, I mean, this is all the food that I have, but 12 bread should last me a while. But I will still be killing things on my way, just because my chicken farm isn't quite up and running yet. Is the sun already going down? Indeed it is. Okay, good to know. But yeah, I want to go there and find some slime, and then use the slime guys to make a new sword. It's like a slime sword, I think it's called. So yeah, what are we talking about today? Last episode, I don't know. These are going to be, I'm doing this series so I can talk, and they're going to be kind of rambly at times. And me losing focus and all of that wonderful stuff. But, I'm going to give this to my bar just in case something scary comes out and tries to attack me. Yeah, so last episode we were talking about kind of child rearing and raising kids and whatnot, and it came up in my class somewhat. Each class I start off with like a news segment where the students or myself can bring up things that are going on in the world. I was going to get cactus too. Yes, please. You know, just either locally or globally, things that they care about, things that they're interested in. And it's also my opportunity to kind of, you know, remind them that there are things going on. Most of the time, what they bring up are like shootings and, you know, murders and that kind of stuff. It was that way, right? Yeah. And, you know, I think often because they don't understand some of the other things that are going on in the world. Anyways, of course, one of the things that was happening, or that's been happening the last couple of weeks, is the stuff that's been going on in Baltimore, Maryland, with the Freddie Gray stuff. And, you know, one of my students brought up the rioting, and during the rioting, a mom was caught on camera smacking her son for participating in the riots. And, you know, everybody in my class, you know, when this was brought up, they're like, oh, really? They were really interested in it. And, so I brought up the video. I want some of these guys too, I think. And let them watch it. Let them see what all of the fuss was about. And of course, she smacks her kid pretty good. And he was throwing rocks, I think, at police. If you're not familiar with what's going on, a guy died in police custody, and people are trying to figure out why he died, and the community, you know, thinks that there's something bad going on. Anyways, they ended up rioting. And the day of the riots, from what I understand, a lot of it started because of young kids that were let out of school because a state of emergency was declared. It's crazy that stuff like this is still happening in today's world. Oh, slime. Here you are. I forget how many I need. I think I need 6 total. Maybe I should look it up, actually. Slime. There it is. Slime sword. Yes, 6 slime balls. And what does it say? 3 diamond swords? Oh gosh, I don't have enough diamond for that even. That's okay. I started my thing, so I'll be able to get enough diamond relatively easily. Die, slimes, die. So anyways, my class, when they saw the video, they started applauding, you know. They're like, this kid is being stupid, throwing rocks at police. His mom's out there trying to protect him from getting himself in bad... Oh, it's one of those things. Actually, I don't know. Can I don't know how much health they have. Not too bad. Oh. I also don't know how much damage they do. And he has a friend over there. So... get him! Get him! can't believe I'm still hitting him. This thing is maybe a little overpowered. These infinite projectile weapons. No sprint button. And anyways, you know, one of the things that I try to do with my class, it's a writing class technically, but I consider it more of a critical thinking class, reading class. But one of the things that I try to do is really push what seems to be the obvious conclusion or a normal response, or however you want to frame that. I don't know what that is, but I'll take it. You know, so I pushed them. I was like, why do you guys think it's okay for a parent to strike their child on national television and to then applaud that? And, you know, a lot of people were saying, well, it's the severity of what he was doing, and the mom's out to try to protect him. And, there, you know, there's a lot of good reason. I think as parents, it's often hard to stop yourself from doing that. You know, I do pride myself on never having struck my child, but I've definitely grabbed him pretty hard. And sometimes it's just, you know, they're in harm's way, or they're doing something that's gonna hurt them or hurt somebody else, and so you feel like your only response in that split second is to hit them. I don't know if sharks can spawn out here. I should be careful of that, I guess. Is that one right there? No, that's a squid. I think they can only spawn in ocean, so I think I'm safe. But anyways, you know, I was really pressing my class on this, and one of my students, he's a very bright student. He was very set that no, it's sometimes it's the only response. A timeout, a talk, that kind of stuff is not going to work with them in that instant. It has to be like just absolutely no. This is so bad what you're doing that it justifies me hitting you. And whatnot. And, you know, I said, well, you know, there's a lot of research that shows hitting kids, what is that, it's 5, 6, yay. Hitting kids can lead to all kinds of issues. I think I may want just a few more, for like sticky pistons and whatnot. Behavioral issues, learning disabilities, antisocial behaviors, it's just, you know, lots of stuff and whatnot. And it's hard as a teacher because I throw these things out there, and it's like, well, I'm pretty sure I read that. I mean, I did that one paper, and I'm pretty sure I read that study, and yada yada. But anyways, afterwards, whenever I make a claim, especially where I cite something specific like that, I have to go back and double check. So I did go back and double check, and I read through the article from the American Psychological Association, and they're like, yeah, it's, you know, pretty much since 1969, they've been pretty, you know, pretty firm in their stance that physical discipline. Well, it was in the 60s that corporal punishment was outlawed, was discontinued as a disciplinary tactic in schools and whatnot. And at the time, many of them wanted to make it illegal in the home as well, but they didn't. And so it's only now that, you know, a lot more of them are starting to come out and saying, hey, it should be illegal in the home to strike your child in any way. This is even spankings, you know, even like most of us would probably agree, like, yeah, like smacking your child outright. It's a little funny side story. I don't think I have spoken about this yet, but my wife comes in the other week and says, hey, have you seen that video of that mom or of that guy hitting the kid? And I'm like, just like, no. And she's like, well, watch this video. And I watched the video, and it's this guy, and they're like in a little convenience store, and the kid is running around, and the guy who, it's his dad, is chasing him, right? And like they both come around the corner, like heading towards each other, and the dad pretty much just like clotheslines the kid, just like bam. And the kid is like 3 years old, and the dad has just like, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised the kid wasn't severely injured. So, anyways, this is on Facebook. And, you know, like the guy who hit the kid, he's kind of like bragging about how the cops can't catch him. Anyways, it takes less than 24 hours for the cops to find him and catch him. And in the video, also, after the dad hits the kid, the mom is seen picking the kid up and just going out of the store all nonchalant as though anything had happened. And the funny thing is that the mom is actually a former roommate of mine. And we had taken her in. She was on drugs and had some bad experiences with guys. We took her and her son in. This is a different kid, not the same kid. And we helped her get an education and tried to get her a job and stuff. But towards the end, just bad stuff started happening. Like checks went missing and rings were stolen. And yeah. Anyways, so I don't know. It was funny to have these two things happen really close to one another. But our community reacted very negatively to that video of the dad hitting his kid in the convenience store, and it was like a witch hunt. I mean, people were out to get this dad. Although charges, I think, were eventually dropped, or like, I don't know. He's not going to have to serve any hard time for nearly killing his own child. But anyways, yeah, it was interesting to me that at one moment we could condemn the behavior of a dad. And of course, it was unprovoked. Well, it wasn't really unprovoked. The kid was misbehaving. So, you know, some people might see that striking the child as a legitimate form of discipline. But how we can simultaneously kind of demonize or condemn that behavior, and in the next moment celebrate a mom striking her child. I think that's fascinating. And so I really pushed my students on this, and this one student was really adamant. And I was like, well, you know, there's this research, and I went and looked up the research, and it started talking about how, yeah, you know, there was one research study that was done that showed it can actually lead to immediate compliance, so they'll listen to you immediately. It will lead to less antisocial behavior and more self-control or something like that. But that was one study, right? And this is how science works, and I think it'll be good to explain this to my students, is that, you know, when I say it may lead to behavioral problems, this isn't like set in stone. It's a correlation, right? It's not causation. I don't think you could ever prove that striking your child will lead to anything specific besides like bruises and broken bones or something. But so, you know, but what the article does a really good job of explaining is that there's that one study that points to, yeah, maybe it will help to strike your child. Oops, a little bit of lag there. But there are 1,000 other studies that show how bad it could be. And that's how science works. It's an accumulation of evidence over time. And while we can't actually prove it 100%, you know, it's pretty solid evidence if you have 100 studies pointing to one conclusion and one study pointing to the opposite conclusion. Like, you know, so I thought that was really really interesting and a good lesson, I think, for my students as well. What is this anyways? Ice stone. What can I make with that? Ice stone. Here we go. Frozen shards. I guess maybe I don't know what I can make with it. Ender ice. Serenade of ice. Nothing. Gosh, I have to hop on the wiki and figure out what this is for. And there was something else I was going to talk about today too, but I cannot for the life of me remember. Anyways, I have no idea how long I've been recording. I think I'll take a break here. I'm going to build a nether portal, and I'm just going to kind of poke my head in this episode and see what we find, see where we spawn. So I'll be right back with you here momentarily. Alright, you guys, you ready? You ready to do it? I built this little platform for my portal. Have snow. I'm terrified. Absolutely terrified. Where we at? Where we at? Are you serious? Are you serious? Wait, what? Oh, getting a lot of lag. Yeah, things are loading in. Things are loading in. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, yeah. Blaze rod, thank you. Alright, can we block this in? Maybe? Very nice. That way they can't fly off into the corners. One more, maybe? And that's, maybe one more. I'll come back for that. Do that off camera. Alright, so I remember now why I decided to talk about that in the first place. A study came out recently that looked at, it's a DNA study done in Detroit, Michigan, and what it found is, it was looking at, I forget the name of them, chirpish something, it starts with a T, but what it is, it's the, that won't really stop them, will it? That should. It's like the ends of our DNA, right? And these degrade over time. The DNA does, or the ends of them, and it's kind of, as they degrade, it's kind of symbolizes aging, right? And so what these researchers were looking at is whether or not the tips of the DNA degrade faster for some populations compared to other populations. And they were looking predominantly at class, like wealth, and race. Right, so what they found is that, there's another blaze spawner right there, yeah, so what they found is that indeed there do seem to be differences based on wealth and race. The poorer you are, the faster these things degrade. It's linked to stress and whatnot. Oh yeah, glowstone, we're wanting this. So essentially, you know, the poorer you are, the more stressed out you are, and hence the faster you will age. And none of this is really that that new. I mean, I think people have been saying that for a while now. Okay, flaming spiders. This place is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. There's an ore that I'm looking for. That stuff. And killing these guys can also get you some good things. But what the research does now is it gives an actual scientific basis for explaining these things, because people would often say, oh, you know, being poor, you'd be more stressed out, but it was always just anecdotal, right? They would interview or take surveys of people and, you know, try to calculate their stress levels and then compare that to, I think this stuff hurts you, yeah, when you stand on it. Compare that to like the age or how long that person would live and whatnot. Does that work? Yeah. Okay. This is bloodstone, I think. No, it's just netherite ore. Okay. And that's a different. Maybe that's the bloodstone stuff. But it was interesting because this isn't correlation. I mean, that actually is causation, I would think. But they found some other really interesting things as well. That, like looking at it at race, there didn't appear to be any difference between poor black people and middle class or lower middle class black people. So wealth didn't seem to play much of a factor. Simply, you know, their race is what seemed to impact it most. And what else? Poor white people had, I think, the lowest of any group. Saw the most degradation, which means that poor white people like me, we age faster than any other group. And a really interesting one, poor Hispanic people actually had higher or had less degradation in the tips of their DNA compared to lower middle class Hispanic people. So being poor as a Hispanic actually will make you live longer. These are generalizations, of course, but what they were hypothesizing, because that was kind of strange. Like, you wouldn't expect like having more money to cause more stress, but what they did to explain this, these guys are deadly right here. They have they like rapid fire bows. So sure there's nothing over there. But what they discovered is that, or what they were hypothesizing is that poor Hispanics tend to be first generation, whereas lower middle class Hispanics tend to be second generation. So first generation immigrants will not be as stressed out because they come from a different culture, I guess, and they haven't been taught to feel as though they're other or as though they're different. So essentially, becoming part of the American culture as a Hispanic teaches you that as a Hispanic you're different, and that is what leads to higher levels of stress, which I think is fascinating. I mean, that's just a hypothesis that they have, and more research needs to be done. But it was interesting because it's talking about correlation and causation and whatnot. You know, in the realm of social science, I don't want to hit that pigman. It's always been correlation, this idea that poverty will, and a good correlation, again, that's thousands of studies supporting this, that being poor will lead to lower lifespan. Oh, I think he's coming after me. No? Maybe not. Get out of the fire, dude. I don't want your stuff to die. So yeah, I don't know, it was really interesting. Alright, what do we have? Molten shards. That will be for my armor upgrade, I do believe. And, whatnot. But to go back to the whole hitting your kids thing, that was a point of disagreement for my wife and I. She came from a family where it was pretty normal to spank and whatnot. And my dad pulled out the belt on me once, and my mom had a wooden spoon that she learned that from her own mom. So, all right. Well, I like my spawn, man. That was really lucky to spawn in a freaking fortress like that. But anyways, I think that's going to be it from me for today. Got quite a bit done. Got some more exploration. To be honest, I may not even have to do the slime sword. I may just be ready to move on to the next tier of weapons. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, I apologize that I didn't get more than or that I didn't get one of these out sooner. But just finals and all that loveliness is happening right now. That was weird. It like hit me, but it didn't catch me on fire. So, anyways, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.